They're out there, they're all over the place, they're on all the trees and bushes and such, but they're very hard to find because they have what appears to be good vision. When you come up to a tree, they'll either stop calling immediately, or if they see you, sometimes they'll move their body around the tree to avoid you seeing them. Sometimes they're hard to key in on from their noise that they're making because it can be so loud, it's hard to tell where it's actually coming from. People mention often, like whenever they hear cicadas, they make it sound like it's hotter outside or it feels hotter outside. That's usually because they're out at the hottest, driest part of the day. They start emerging in June before the monsoons hit. When the conditions are right, the nymphal stage, the immature stage, leaves the ground, finds a place to crawl up to, and then the adult stage emerges from that nymphal stage. And that usually happens in the evening after dark. We have approximately 4 dozen species that occur in the state. The most common species that we encounter in our area is the Apache cicada, Daysof apache, and that's the one that we hear most of the time in Tucson. They're grayish black and they have yellow markings on them. They're what we hear during the day when we hear the loud whirling buzzing sound. Only the males make the sound, and they have a structure underneath called a timbal. By flexing that with muscles back and forth, it produces a sound, and it's amplified by the hollowed out body cavity of the abdomen of the male. The sound is used to attract females and to compete with sound of other males, and it's also as a defensive mechanism too. Each species has its own sound, its own call, so to speak. The purpose of cicadas, as the ultimate purpose for most organisms, is to reproduce, but they also feed other animals too. Birds feed on them, mammals feed on them, reptiles feed on them, and so they provide a pretty nutritious, healthy food source for other organisms. They're just another beautiful part of the biodiversity in our region. Arizona, especially southeastern Arizona, has the highest amount of insect and other arthropod diversity than any other part of the country. To me, it's kind of like the beginning of summer. I sort of look forward to hearing the first buzz that I hear. I kind of note that when it happens because for me that's kind of beginning of a season for insects to start showing up here in the desert region.